This is Mary, everybody. Mary Kostalos. Mary holds a PhD in aquatic ecology from the University of Pittsburgh. Her thesis research site was Falls Ravine, which is a tributary of 9 Mile Run in Frick Park. She is a professor emerita at Chatham University, where she taught biology, especially ecology and environmental courses, for more than 40 years. Much of her volunteer and professional work has been focused around 9 Mile Run. She's currently a member of our board of directors and our monitoring committee. Additionally, Mary is an invaluable resource for our ongoing surveys of macroinvertebrates in 9 Mile Run and its tributaries. All right, Mary, take it away.
Basically, I'm very old, so I've been around for a long time. As Rose said, my first introduction to the watershed was when I used Falls Ravine for my thesis project. And during my research, I became involved with a group called Environment Pittsburgh, which was very much involved in developing the big 1970 Earth Day celebration here in Pittsburgh, for any of you who are old enough to remember that. We monitored and surveyed the stream, and that is now the watershed's an urban watershed. The upper portion is highly developed, lots of impervious surfaces, which meant that stormwater rushed down through the stream, creating flash floods, which damaged the stream, eroded it, and pretty much did in most of the living organisms. There was kind of a mishmash of storm sewers, sanitary lines, combined lines from several municipalities, and they ran along the 9 Mile Run Valley, but they created a very poorly mapped, we didn't know where most of the lines were, poorly maintained set of lines. So there are lots of leaks and problems. The nickname Stink Creek was very appropriate at that time. There was an outfall from Swissvale, which flowed soapy water in large quantities on Monday, which was the traditional laundry day, if you may remember the old days. Probably the most interesting of the outfalls was the discharge pipe from the Seal Test ice cream plant on Browns Hill Road, which literally flowed chocolate, strawberry, or vanilla, depending on what kind of ice cream they were making up at the plant. We monitored the stream. When we found leaks or problems, we reported them to the county health department, which in turn had to dye test because they didn't know whose line it was. They figure out which municipality, try to get them to fix it. We monitored for living organisms, but almost never found anything alive. I mean, occasional midge, occasional sludge worm, that was about it. After Environment Pittsburgh disbanded, Tim Collins and Reiko Goto from CMU's Studio for Creative Inquiry developed the Three Rivers Second Nature project, and the 9 Mile Run stream was a part of this project. Again, we monitored flooding, sewer overflows, leaks continued to be major problems. There was a lot of improvement, actually. Most of the open pipes had actually been connected in to the major trunk line, which connected to the Alka Sand system. So there were more organisms, but very little diversity. It was almost all midges and highly pollution tolerant organisms. As their project sort of wound down, the 9 Mile Run Watershed Association actually came into being, and now there's a true advocate just for 9 Mile Run. I was an early board member and have continued to work on the stream, particular monitoring invertebrates. By a lucky coincidence, a master's student from the Graduate School of Public Health conducted a survey of invertebrates in 9 Mile Run and Fern Hollow. And I decided to follow up by monitoring the stream for invertebrates every year. And it turned out to be lucky because I started about 5 years before the restoration project, which meant we had baseline data. One of the big problems with restoration projects and improvement projects is there's often no baseline data, so it's hard to tell if there's any improvement. I can't really describe the feeling when the restoration project started. I went down all the time just to look. And I literally had tears in my eyes the day that they dedicated that restoration project. Although there's still problems, the improvement is incredible. We've continued to survey the stream, and so that pretty much sums up, I guess, my volunteer work with 9 Mile Run. In addition to these organizations, again, my career at Chatham was very much involved with 9 Mile Run. Virtually every term, I took students down to 9 Mile Run for field trips. I often had students work on independent projects or group projects as a part of their lab. probably at least 200 Chatham students have been tromped down through 9 Mile Run as a part of my classes. And most of my professional publications have used 9 Mile Run and its tributaries as their source. So in summary, much of my volunteer and professional life over more than 50 years has evolved around 9 Mile Run. Seeing the improvement and the increasing diversity of organisms has been one of the real joys of my life. And I look forward to seeing what the future will bring to the 9 Mile Run Watershed Association. And I hope that's more or less 5 minutes.